Last time, we introduced you to the family life. A quiet, hard-working family until the bank came knocking. A frozen account, a disputed loan, a family suddenly underwater. Maria kept teaching, kept working, kept the secret away from her students. Something in that house had already started to crack, but the pile keeps getting bigger and bigger. This is the story of a week that everything is changing for the family. The bank dispute had drained more than money. It had drained him. Maria noticed. She always noticed, but she can't change it at this point. Store products. No meat this week. Small signs of a bigger problem. Their savings account had one number left in it, and it wasn't looking that bright. They went for a walk. An argument hadn't happened in weeks. Somehow the silence was worse. "We need a break," Maria said quietly. "Before this breaks us." Alexis hesitated. Then a joy sensation entered his mind and heart. A vacation. Nothing fancy, just enough to breathe. A small coastal town, 4 hours away, a rented room above a bakery. For the first time in weeks, Maria looked like herself again. But the bank wasn't done with them yet. They keep on pushing and pushing. He told himself it could wait. 3 missed calls, 1 voicemail he wouldn't listen to. Maria was already packing. She hadn't heard the phone ring. You didn't tell her, he thought. Not yet. She needs this. It was easier than the truth to cover it, with just a simple smile. Alexis finally returned the call. It did not go well. The bank had escalated the case. A final notice, this time in writing. He didn't tell Maria. Not that night. Not the next morning either. Maria had no idea. She was counting down the days. 2 days until the vacation that was supposed to save them. Whatever Alexis was carrying, he needed help, but he was too proud to ask. There was one person he hadn't called yet. Maria's brother-in-law. But he couldn't stop himself. He didn't want to ask. Now the choice is made and in motion. The night before, the apartment actually felt light again. Alexis, nervous, goes to check the car, to make sure it's ready to go. 4 hours north, 1 rest stop, a route he'd driven before. 1 more call came in, this time from the number he'd just dialed. The strange voice told him just 2 words.
"It's arranged, Alexis."
Whatever he'd just set in motion, he was doing it alone. In the departure morning, Maria woke up early. Not even the alarm went off. She started the morning routine, called out for Alexis, but no answer yet. She figured he either went out for gas or will be in the shower. 20 minutes passed, then 30. No sign of him or the car until this point. She called him. It rang. Then it went to voicemail.
Alexis!
Her voice echoed through a staircase that felt too quiet. Unfortunately, he was nowhere to be found. But his phone was on the nightstand. His wallet was gone. So was his car. On his desk, some of the bank papers were gone. The vacation that was supposed to save them hadn't even started. Alexis was gone, and so was every trace of where he'd gone to. By 9 that morning, Maria had already called 3 people. Her sister, a neighbor, and the local police line. The officer's first question was simple.
"Has this happened before?"
24 hours. That's the standard wait before an adult is officially missing. 24 hours felt like a lifetime when the person missing was your husband. She sat where he usually sat, just to feel closer to an answer. When the phone finally charged, Maria found the voicemail he never played. She pressed play on the message Alexis haven't listened to. It wasn't the bank. It was an unfamiliar man's voice.
You shouldn't have gone looking for outside money. Call it off.
This cannot be true.
Maria had no idea what that meant. At least, not yet. By evening, Maria's sister had driven 2 hours to be there. Maria played her the voicemail. Her sister went pale.
I think Alexis called Mandrew.
That reaction said more than any answer could. Mandrew, her sister's husband, a man Alexis rarely even spoke to.
He lends money,
Her sister said, to people the banks won't touch. They went through his closet together, piece by piece. They find a coat, boots, and when they checked the drawer, his passport was still there. He wasn't leaving her. Whatever this was, he meant to come home. She started asking who would have taken him and why. By morning, this was no longer just a missing persons report. It was now an open case, and Mandrew was the first name on the list. "Tell me everything about this man," the detective said. The detective already had a file open on Mandrew. It wasn't the first time his name had come up. By midday, a police car brought Maria home. But the whole building knew something was wrong. Her phone hadn't stopped buzzing since sunrise. But what she had received will change her completely.
He's safe, but he can't come home yet. Tell no one.
It read. This time, Maria didn't wait. She brought it straight to the detective. The number traced to a prepaid phone, bought 2 towns over, near Mandrew's usual routes. For the first time, they had somewhere to look. By day 3, Maria stopped waiting and started searching herself. Behind a false panel in his desk, she found the folder he'd hidden, and letter in his handwriting, to her. Inside, a signed loan, and a photo of a man she didn't recognize. Alexis had borrowed a large sum from Mandrew weeks before the bank's final notice. In the letter, Alexis explained, he never wanted her to know he'd failed to fix this on his own. But the letter also said something else, something about the terms. No bank, no paperwork, no legal protection if anything went wrong. Alexis hadn't just borrowed money from family. He'd borrowed it from the kind of man banks quietly use, and fear. Maria brought the folder to the detective within the hour. Didn't take long until he recognized the name on the second page immediately. Mandrew didn't just lend money on his own. He also did collections work for the same bank. 3 days before he vanished, Alexis started to drive outside the city, a drive that took him more than 2 hours. The road changed the further he drove. So did the towns. Mandrew had chosen the meeting place, a cafe that saw very little foot traffic. Mandrew was waiting, almost warm. That was somehow worse.
I was expecting you.
Family helps family, Mandrew said. But this isn't a gift. One condition, Mandrew added. You don't fight the bank in court. Not anymore. They shook hands. Alexis hadn't told Mandrew about the complaint he'd quietly filed against the bank, but he told himself the worst part was over, and he just heard the words. He drove home after, but he was feeling tighter than he had in weeks. Unfortunately, he didn't notice the car that had followed him from the cafe. He stopped after a few hours on the road, got out to look around, and to relax before arriving home. Little did he know that was the last decision he made on his own. What happened next, Alexis would later describe only in fragments. Where was his cracked phone, was the last confirmed sighting of him for more than 48 hours. He was moved twice that first day. He never learned exactly where or why. For 2 days, his world was one small room and the sound of voices through a wall. Back in the present, the detectives now had the full picture. Almost. The prepaid phone that sent the warning text had pinged from this same area twice. This got their attention. They requested support from a regional unit that knew the area and had bigger jurisdiction. By the same night, they had a location, a plan, and a team heading that way. The building itself was unremarkable. Alexis heard the door before he saw anyone. "You're safe now," the officer said. Alexis didn't believe it right away. Maria got the call before she'd even finished her coffee that morning. Physically, Alexis would recover. What he'd have to explain would take longer. The bank's collections division had a name for people like Alexis: complication accounts. The same low-level contractors who collected overdue debts were paid extra to make complaints disappear.
They didn't want my money. They wanted my silence.
"You weren't the only one," the detective said. "Just the first one who fought back and lived to tell it." Outside that room, life kept moving. Inside it, everything had changed. He will never be the same. Mandrew was brought in for questioning within the week.
Why won't you listen to me?
The bank had a press conference and also issued a short statement. It did not mention Alexis, Mandrew, the missing days, or people by name. The vacation never happened. Something more important took its place. The truth. Whatever came next, they will face it. Together.